Hey, welcome to the show. I'm the Crypto Kid. In these videos, we take a look at Bitcoin and everything that's going on in the world of cryptocurrency. So let's jump right in this morning and take a look at Bitcoin Cash. Now, as you can see, the market is looking pretty good with Bitcoin Cash sitting up around 12% in the 24 hours. We're currently sitting just above that $1,600 mark, and it appears as though we have been climbing steadily as we've broken through that barrier, obviously quite quickly and fast. So we will continue to monitor this, but it is looking quite good for Bitcoin Cash right now. Now on the other side of the coin here, you can see that the BTC chain is struggling a bit to break through those new all-time highs. And again, we will continue to watch that. Now in the news today, there's a really wicked article. We'll head over to bitcoin.com and check out the chapter 3 of this ongoing saga of the Satoshi revolution. Now this is a really interesting part 2 of the government's take on cryptocurrency, and it is really interesting, especially if you are living in the USA or you are actually a US citizen, because this applies to you directly. Now basically, as the government becomes more and more interested and invested in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, they're going to want to control it more and more. Now they're talking about taxation, seizing your Bitcoin, and there's also this new this law that might potentially be really involved with Bitcoin. So I would advise you to spend some time, invest a little bit of your day to check this article out, especially if you are in the US, because it is pretty thick and there's a lot to be concerned about here, especially in the short term. Now there is a second or a third part, I should say, coming out where they're going to talk about how to prepare for these past laws. And it is definitely worth your time, because it seems as though they want a piece of the pie, and they might even take the whole thing if we're not careful. So check it out, definitely worth a read. But right now I want to get into the real Bitcoin Cash. Now let's jump over to where it all began, the Bitcoin white paper created by Satoshi Nakamoto, the infamous creator. And if you want to know more, I'll leave a link in the description box as usual. But this is where it's all at. This is a white paper, meaning this is what the intention was for the original plan or path forward for Bitcoin, and that is why I support Bitcoin Cash as Bitcoin, because it is true to this document right here. Now there's some really interesting points I wanted to make, specifically the fact that, look at the title, Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Its intentions were to be used as cash, meaning to be used online through commerce from one person to another without having to pay high fees or being involved with financial institutions. So as a purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another. Let's move forward. The cost of mediation increases transaction costs. Nobody wants high transaction costs, right? Now that's what's happening right now with the BTC chain, limiting minimum practical transaction size and cutting off the possibility for small casual transactions. And that's exactly what we're seeing. If you try to go to a coffee shop, they will laugh at you because the fees are high. You'll probably be standing there all day drinking the whole pot of coffee until the transaction goes through, if it even does. Now the even crazier thing is on the other side of the coin with Bitcoin Cash. Not only is it still true to the same intentions of Bitcoin, but it's practical in the real world. I was on Twitter the other day, and there was a wicked, I guess you could call it a game, that went through, and they talked about why Bitcoin is practical just by practical sense. They sent 50 cents around from person to person, and you could see it dwindling as it slowly went down, but it was possible. You could see little fractions of a dollar coming off as the fees took that 50 cents until it was dissolved. That would be impossible to do with Bitcoin BTC, or Bitcoin Core I should say, because the fees would be astronomical, meaning if you were to send $1 to your friend right now in the Bitcoin Core chain, it would cost you minimum $5 just to do it. And that is absolutely ridiculous, and that goes against everything that was intended for Bitcoin, and it's proof right here. So let's keep going. So what else can we look at here? Well, what is needed, and this is his intention, was an electronic payment system, okay? So this isn't meant to be sitting in a vault somewhere hidden away for the rest of eternity. This was intended to be used in commerce by merchants and consumers and users all around the world. Everyone should have access to this. It's electronic cash. It's commerce on the internet. And if we take even further looks, they talk about how the costs of payment and uncertainties can be avoided by using digital currency, yes, but no. We want it to be online. So no mechanism exists to make payments over a communications channel. And that is the intention. It's to be used to avoid high fees and to cut out the middleman from telling you when and where you can send your money. So for people that support Bitcoin Core, that's fine. You can put your money wherever you want. But look, if you were to disagree with the white paper here, that's another story. Now, this individual here came out the other day here as he was asked a question in one of his talks, and the individual in the audience asked, what can merchants do to reduce these high fees? Because literally it can't be used. And the ironic thing is, he said, why don't they try tabs, meaning IOUs? IOUs? Is this guy for real? Now, I'll leave a link in the description box below if you want to check this out, but I will warn you, watching this video and listening to this fool ramble and ramble will definitely decrease your intelligence significantly. So be wary. As he rambles on, it makes absolutely no sense and he has no answer. And it reminds me of something, I can't put my finger on it. That's right, Dumb and Dumber, because clearly this fool is pretty dumb if he thinks that people are going to use this. So makes me laugh, and it actually worries me a bit when people like this are in charge of Bitcoin. And you want to talk about centralization, there it is. He is Blockstream, and he is blocking the stream of cash from happening online. So kind of a fool, but what can you do? So if you want to check us out, we're on Twitter. There's a wicked community over there. I would advise you to get involved because there's some really cool people and a lot of good facts and information. So I'll leave that with you, and I hope today's video was enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one.